This is the tree we were pruning in the winter, and even at first glance we can see that we've got a healthy tree. The roots are pumping up plenty of water and nutrients. We've got beautifully healthy foliage and more than 18 inches of growth already at midsummer. As I've said before, I'm very cautious about leaving fruits on young trees because they get first choice of any goodness that the root is pumping up. But here, where we left just a few flower buds to see if we get good pollination, we've got 6 good quality fruits forming and we're getting good growth. So I'm quite happy to leave these fruits this year to develop and ripen and give me my first harvest from this tree. But it's making so much growth below down, which isn't where I want it. I want the growth up on the top, so we make a crown at head height so I can still walk underneath it. So I'm going to get down and shorten all these shoots that are growing from low down. Because the developing seeds and the most actively growing shoot tips make the biggest call on the plant for its resources, I'm going to remove these lower shoots, shorten them, removing these actively growing buds, so that it's the actively growing buds at the top of the tree which are the ones that are actually getting the best, because it's a good crown that we're trying to form, a structure of branches. These lower leaves, we could let them form a few more fruits next year, but they also contribute to increasing the thickness and strength of the trunk. When it comes to pruning, even if you do everything correctly, the tree is a living organism and doesn't always obey the rules. In this case, where we pruned in exactly the right place, we've had dieback into the previous year's growth. We've got relatively weedy shoots growing out in all directions. So we're just going to reduce it to the 2 that are growing in the direction we want and remove all competition from them so that they can draw up what the roots can supply. So that's it. We removed the competition for the resources that the tree is sending up. We can now leave it. We'll come back and enjoy the fruit when it's ripe, and in the winter we'll move into the next phase of pruning as we continue to build this tree up into the tree that will produce fruit for us for many years to come. This tree, by contrast, plenty of fruit, but no extension growth. This tree isn't going to get any larger, which ultimately will limit the amount of fruit it can carry year on year. In fact, with this amount of fruit, it probably won't even carry a crop at all next year. It just hasn't got the resources to carry these numbers of apples and lay down a crop for next year and increase in size. To deal with that, we're going to remove some of the fruits to reduce that burden on the tree so you can actually prepare for a crop next year and grow larger. This branch, for instance, is no more than 30 inches long. We should be looking at a maximum of 3 fruits. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 altogether. So half of these need to go to try and get the tree back in balance. So there we have it. 30 inches a branch, 3 fruits. That brings that branch back into balance. We can expect some extension growth, some new fruit bud to form ready for next year. And we work over the whole tree on that basis. Roughly for every 10 inches of fruiting branch, 1 fruit. And then we have a tree which should be able to sustain a crop year on year and grow in size and become more and more fruitful.